My Van and Melonin, and well met indeed. I'm Arak here, Galadirthan, head of the modding team behind Divide and Conquer. Welcome back as we continue on as Dorwinion. We are scrambling, scramble, to defeat this person, Borlach, who is one of Rune's only really remaining generals, save, I'm sure, for some people in Rubar, where I don't know where their faction leader is, actually. We'll find out soon enough. Oh, there he is, sorry. Lokan Mufarij, who's currently besieging us at Elgair. Very disappointing. We have reclaimed Nibur, the Isle of, and Theaton is ours once more. Our trade will flourish and grow, our realm will become prosperous and mighty, and then, and only then, we shall turn on Dale. But we do need to muster, as I say, because Borlach can bring us all down. So yes, it's a little bit of a case at the moment of rushing to get him. We are at an end turn, so let us go ahead and do that. Progress towards version 4 moves ahead swiftly. RK, after some time recuperating and just generally enjoying life and not feeling pressured to work on the mod, which I would hope you don't feel, RK, if I'm honest. But RK has returned, and some of the final bits and bobs on the list that are kind of ascribed to RK can now be ticked off, so that's another excellent move forwards. Lokan Mufarij, who we've already mentioned, comes against us with Captain Kustig. Why they did not just join together always amazes me. We are going to be up against it here, but remember we've got some walls, which we shall use against them, and that's about it. They actually outnumber us. We have got 2 archer units and 1 crossbow unit, and Kustig does have archers of his own. Elgar is... What is Elgar? I don't know, actually. It looks like a town or a castle to me, so we should have some excellent towers, which pretty much seals the deal, doesn't it? Let us pray now together to whatever deity you feel guides your life, that Mufarij dies, and he is the last of his line. And then we shall defeat Rune here today. Ah, curses, no, it's only it is a town, sorry, but not a large town. So we only get these crappy little nothing towers that do very, very little damage. That's a shame. Ah, and of course his reinforcements are coming in from far, far away. No they're not. They are behind us. Because I'm just not paying attention. But they don't have any siege, so they have to come through Mufarij's way. So what I'm thinking, to be honest, is if we can rush out and kill him... Too sweet. No, we're never going to rush out that quickly. He's going to come at us quite slowly. I'm just thinking if we use our numbers to overwhelm him while his army tries to get round the side, we might stand a better chance of winning. Because if we let them come at us all together, then we are grossly outnumbered and we'll have no hope. But if we can tie him up with some of our crapper units, and then should we try it? Because if we just try and hold this gate, I don't think... No. Better idea. No, because if he beats down the gate, they'll arrive at that same time. I'm just thinking if he beats down the gate and then comes into the city, we can hold him there while crossbowmen just fire into his side, which would be a relatively effective method. What's the fastest way to the square, actually? This is a very strange gate. I would have thought they're going to go down that hill and that way. I'm not sure we've got enough damage-dealing forces to actually do anything to him if we try and rush him out there. But I tell you what we can do, actually. We'll rush the crossbows out so that they can just shoot at him while he's going through the gate, and then they can even shoot at him while he's walking through the gate. And we'll maneuver the others so that, again, they can shoot at him. So if we put the archers there, and you guys go over that side, don't fire for now, you won't do absolutely any damage, but you might be able to do some damage in a moment, so hold them there. Let's put our... I can't even remember his actual name, I only know him as Legend of Total War. Let's put him down over there and supplement our... so you fellows go there like that, and then the speary kind of one go there like that. We've got 90 of you who, for now, we can put at the square so they don't just rush us. And we're going to run the crossbows outside as soon as it begins. Right, it's all underway. Although the towers don't seem to be firing at all. This is your glory day, crossbows. This is your moment.
The enemy are battering down.
Go for it. They will not attack you because they can't do two things at once. Get at least a couple of them. Don't bother with the ones in the ram, though. I mean, come on.
The enemy's ram has breached the gates.
That was painfully short. Alright, they're going through as we hoped they would.
I'm ready. Crossbows.
Our archers can now
The walls
fire.
are no longer ours. The enemy have taken them.
Keep them pinned, keep them pinned. We've got everyone we can firing at them. Get the crossbows to move closer. The archers are now going in. Crossbows, if you can, come and stand right here. I would love that. And please tell me you can shoot through that gate. Yes, go on. Their reinforcements are coming, but I couldn't care one jot about the reinforcements. This guy is the only thing that needs to die here today. Now remember... Oh, and he's also run off on his own. Oh, you absolute moron. So Mufarij is almost certainly going to die, even if we actually lose this battle. Because he's isolated himself like a fool. Right, crossbows, you're not doing enough. No. There it is. Now, turn and fire. Right, you guys, stop. Stop. The enemy is coming. So, go back into fire at will. When the enemy is in range, do your thing.
Pray something
Oh, look, they've
changes in
stopped.
the course of battle, for defeat seems almost certain.
That's bizarre. There's only 55 of them left. Our crossbows are back in, firing away. And then the spearmen have arrived. And they are just pushing through. Get them to come forward. You guys, again, just pick up the fire. Just shoot at them. It's a shame that the towers don't fire at all. Oh, hey. Oh, no. I thought that was it. Oh, that was it. That was our moment. A glory. Not to beat. The enemy is, as expected, trying to rush the square. But they're dying as they run through, so that's not too bad. We'll let
Only
them do
half
that.
the enemy force remains.
Our archers are all now out. Crossbows are all that remains. The enemy is retreating. The enemy general has not yet died. Ah, yes. Perfect
A
timing.
worthy enemy, but no less dead for that. We must press our
Move closer,
advantage.
move closer, move closer, move closer. Archers, run outside. Protect. Yes. Protect the crossbowmen. They are few in number, but they are so pivotal to this victory. Yes, that's it. That's it. The crossbows are done. The enemy
Pray
is
something
done.
changes in the
sorry.
course of battle, for defeat seems almost certain.
Charge everyone in. Daratai warriors are coming at us hard. The archers are fighting them off, but Legend is now involved in the fray. The fracas, the melee. Hunters and warriors.
The enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men.
Now do remember that their general died today. And not just their general, their faction leader. Last in a long line of weak pretenders to the chiefdom. The Lokandom.
The battle seems to be swinging in our favour. From such tidings does victory emerge.
Their absolute incessant desire to constantly push to the square seems to be
lost half of our men.
their undoing, to be honest. As they try and fight through our men,
men
we're
have
getting
slain
5
the
or
enemy
6 people
general.
attacking them at once.
Without him, his
And they
troops
go
will lose.
down.
The enemy army
And it ends.
awed by the
Yes!
victory we have
Viduhai,
won
you
here today.
master stroke. I knew I'd remember your name when I saw it in front of me. Most kills, no surprises. Viduhai himself. Secondly, Vineyard Bowman. The crossbowmen, very importantly, taking down 34 of the enemy. And do note that that 34 is almost exclusively the enemy's bodyguard unit. So an excellent contribution. And a wonderful victory indeed. Now, something that has come about from our moving forward with the mod is the rebuilding of Fornost, East Osgiliath, West Osgiliath, Tharbad, and Anuminas. Essentially, something that we have only just realised now, to be honest, which is a bit of a shame, is that, of course, the Northern Dunedain are the same culture as Gondor, Dol Amroth, and the Ardenaim. They are all Dunedain. So that means they have the same upgrading abilities. All 4 of them can upgrade a castle into a fortress, into a stronghold, and a huge city, or a large city into a huge city. Now, though that huge city and the fortress and the stronghold are both unique.
We are victorious.
So, the fortress, for example, I believe is West Osgiliath, the stronghold is Fornost, and the huge city is East Osgiliath. Now, inherently, as you would think, that therefore means that, of course, those 4 nations would only be able to upgrade 3 of the 4 or 5 upgradable locations. And that is, unfortunately, the case. But something that we can do, and have done, and yes, the Easterlings did die. Mufarij was the end.
Yes, my lord.
Very well. Now it becomes even more important to get everyone back, for the conquest of Dale will soon begin. What I am getting at is that the Northern Dunedain will be able to upgrade Anuminas, but in order to do so, they will no longer be able to upgrade East Osgiliath. There is no way around that. It is one or the other. And we've chosen Osgiliath.
Yes, my lord.
Take Osnavari first.
We shall prevail.
We'll worry about where we can send the rest.
My lord.
So, if you're playing as Gondor, Dol Amroth, or the Ardenaim, you will be able to upgrade East and West Osgiliath, and also Fornost. That is it in terms of the highest tier settlements. But what we can do is we can change how an upgrade looks for a specific faction. So if you're playing as the Northern Dunedain, you will be able to upgrade Anuminas and it will look like a re-upgraded Anuminas. But if we kept that and left no restrictions, you would be able to upgrade East Osgiliath, but it would look like an upgraded Anuminas, and obviously that would not work. So the only thing we can do is restrict it. You can't upgrade East Osgiliath. In that same vein, if you're playing as Gondor, Dol Amroth, or the Ardenaim, you won't be able to upgrade Anuminas, because if you did, it would look like East Osgiliath. And now, the keen amongst you will note, therefore, that this leaves Tharbad something in the open and unaccounted for. And yes, if we change Tharbad to be its own unique custom settlement, then no one will be able to upgrade it because there are no spaces left for that upgrade. So I think what will probably happen is Tharbad will most likely be a ruin throughout the entire game. We've yet to discuss it, but I think that's going to be the most likely outcome.
My lord.
Anywho, Rune have just been defeated, so Dale will snap up Rubar, which means our conquest of Dale can begin right on our border and our doorstep. I think we need to just make a mention of the fact that Elgar just ended Rune. We shall call it Eastern Folly, because that's a really good, catchy name, I think. And Viduhar is to be praised again for his successful repelling of the forces of Rune, and now, very successfully in fact, he's even managed to hold... Oh, we want a port there, yes please. He's managed to kill their faction altogether. Duharville is of course named after him, but I think we should name somewhere else ceremoniously after him as well. Let's go with Carvarad. And simply call it Viduhar's Glory. There we are, nice. Nice! So we need a little bit of time spent on improving our infrastructure. We've got a lot of money, so let's queue up a load of buildings, just one off for now. Obviously they'll take a little bit of time to go through. They'll take an awful lot of time to go through in some cases. But I'm all for queues, I'm afraid. And then I don't have to think about anything. You get a mining network. which almost doubles what you already earn. So we'll chuck that in just because. Trading post, yes please. Next, ports always welcome on the fringes here. Let's get the trade up keep. Theaton definitely needs a port. Low tax rate too, please. I'll probably kill off most of the units that are in Theaton. Mistrand is building an armory, but doesn't really need that anymore. But again, if you could build a port, let's get the trade around this area growing, and we're back to there. So we're making 4,600 a turn. And we've got a lot of units that are due for refitting. Or just not free upkeep. And we don't like not free upkeep, do we? No, we don't. So, there was a general that just moved to Saint-Anouilh, wasn't there? Thane.
Your orders, my lord.
You're going to move to Duharville, where you will be free. Let's go through and make sure we've got free upkeep wherever. So, you're not required. Dale obviously won't... we'll now have a moment of blissful peace as nobody attacks us.
As you wish. We'll make camp here.
Yes, my lord.
Send all of those back. Vidahas Glory is fine. Viltur is fine. Ostineru, you are nowhere... Oh, you're gaining. You're gaining. You weren't included in the list. Neither was Dorthalu. Logarth, roads, please. Rawberg. Chuck in a Mason's Hall. Farfest. I'm not going to train any units. We're going to, in fact, try and cut our units to try and get this wealth management system going. Just make sure that everywhere's got something. I know many of you are looking at the screen now and shaking your heads and saying, Gallo, this is the stupidest thing you could do. But I don't really care for the bigger picture. As long as something's queuing, we're all right. I mean, I do care for the bigger picture. I prefer it to the battles, as I always bang on about. But in this instance, I'm happy to take the hit. Right, you four are definitely going to need to stay. Likewise, where you can go back to building us some towers. You guys can be our only actual army. And, as I say, the rest of you, like you there, you head down to that fort.
March to exhaustion, continuing later.
Is there a fort up here? No. I would just like some towers along this borderline.
Erecting a watchtower.
So that Dale can't sneak up on us. And we'll take some of those units and get them in that fort as well. Get those for free. Over in Theaton, we're going to have to leave the No, we're not. No, we're not. No, we're not. No, we're not. The general can come out. Did we lose that battle? No, we won it. So we're going to leave behind the two vineyard units. There's 4 of you. That makes a fort.
Taking the troops ashore.
Yes, my lord.
We'll move you to De Harville, and we'll
my lord. Yes, my lord.
get Thane to come down into this fort, I think. And with those 3, so Theaton's now got that. That's free upkeep there. We'll need to deal with that army because armies lower your general income. But I think for now we can end the turn. I think I've moved everything as far as I'm going to move it. So now it really does become time to take on Dale. And we shall. We shall sit and wait and bide our time. Now, if the next episode, or almost certainly I think what I might do, I know some of you disagree, but I don't think me talking over empire management for 30 minutes is entertaining in the slightest. Now, I appreciate many of you will say, oh, but Gallo, we'd just like to watch you. And I granted, but if the same thing is happening on screen and there's nothing to actually mention, then the episode will be a little dull. So, if, as I thoroughly expect after the end of this episode in what will be, I don't know, 10-ish minutes, I will probably then spend a little bit of time just sorting out our empire and then join you again in some turns when we're at a point we can progress.
Yes.
Of course, if we attack anyone or we get attacked, then I will of course, we'll record that. But
my lord, orders. Your will, my
it'll be some turns before we're ready to actually attack Dale. So
as you wish. Erecting a watchtower.
Set up what we can. Right, you get back to Eastern Folly. You're in the fort there.
Yes,
you're going to do Harville, where you become free. No, then the levies can go in the fort.
Ships ready.
Such a shame. You are not worthy. We've got too many in this fort. We can get some retraining on them, though. But then why bother? We don't really need vineyard levies. Oh, the vineyard levies don't have an icon. There's another unit of vineyard levies we don't need, so we'll get rid of them. We've got even more troops coming in. Now, you definitely need to go into a fort because you can't retrain yet.
Your will, my lord.
You guys have very little purpose. 2 units of levies. What am I going to do with you? Sod bloody all is all.
Orders.
So, let's get up 300-ish more gold. Get rid of them. Edwardin, you head into that fort as well.
Yes,
and Cormac, you head back because you are due for retraining.
Come and get me.
That is the gentleman who used to be runic, but is now, of course, a rebel. And I think we'll end this episode by attacking and taking Austin Avari.
Your will, my lord.
How much we make now? 5,519. It's already creeping up.
My lord.
Perfect.
Continuing tomorrow.
Keep our spy there. Where's our diplomats? In the King's Land. Oh, really?
Yes.
You bring a proposition
Map info,
for
map
my
info.
king?
Why is that demanding? I'll give you map information, and all you have to do is give me 1,000 gold. What are you saying? Yes.
Your plans, that is all.
Perfect.
Farewell, then.
Take settlement, Osnavari. We're about to do that. Isengard are smashing Rohan. We already worked that out, though, didn't we?
Question. Yes.
The evil nations are doing well in the west, but we're a good nation, and we're doing well in the east. So it'll all be up for grabs. We need to keep an eye on this settlement, the Runic Plains, and the steps of the Wain Riders, because if they fall into Mordor's hands, then the onslaught will come. If we have to fight Mordor, we'll fight Mordor. It has been some time since we actually fought
Your
Mordor.
orders, my lord.
So if need be, we will. Let's go up against these barbarians. I'm not against fighting them. It's just we fought them. If you've been with the channel since the beginning, if you're one of the diehards, for example, we've fought Mordor so many times, you'll just know exactly what it's like. And fighting Mordor is just very repetitive. They send trash against you, and you kill that trash with either excellent archer fire or cavalry, and then you chase down about 1,000 orcs as they flee over and over and over and over again. Alright, let's move ourselves over here so that we can get to the square quicker. Any unit that fires any kind of arrow, step forward. You are to be commended. Used. Start the battle. Where is the enemy? On the wrong side of the settlement. Right. Let's get those gates and walls and things down then, please. No, you go for that one, and you go for that one. Although, have I done that the right way? No. You go for that one, and you go for that one. Send the pikes forward. Javelins. You're free to fire anything you can. And our archer units run into positions there. Ah, we're getting shot at. Our enemy has come for us with arrow fire in return. And I have foolishly moved our archers out of range. You're firing. Are they actually shooting us? No, I was going to say, Ravanian riders don't shoot. It's the towers, isn't it? The rest of their army is making their way to the town square, so it won't. We don't need to move our archers, is the moral of the story.
Where are they?
Oh.
The battle is very much in our favor. Victory will be ours.
Get your pikes in there. That's
Our
just going to
soldiers
be a
have proved
massacre.
their worth today. The enemy's walls. We've breached our enemy's walls.
Pike line, form, and hold. Those hunters will break upon you, and they will perish. Right, drop that ram. No, actually, pick that ram up and get it out of the way. General, run in there. Naharim aren't being used. You just come and get out of the way. You're not going to do anything. You guys, you've moved the ram. Drop that. Come and get out of the way.
If we continue like this, we will smash the enemy.
There we are. Protect the pikes from getting flanked. Now, archers, do you think you can shoot the town square if we move you in close? These towers are not very good at all, are they? They don't fire. They don't really fire on their own. Ravanian spearmen, Another fine-looking model in my eyes. Simplicity, yet detailed. Always liked it. Of course, it's going to get absolutely mullered, if you will, by the High Paladins of Dorwinion as they slice through these fools. But standing in the centre, more Ravanian spearmen. There they are.
The enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men.
Our archers are in position to fire, and all will be very well indeed. Get yourselves involved there. Send the general in. Send the archer units in. Oh, come on, just finish him off.
The enemy general abandons his men.
Come and form a line. Come and stand behind them. Now, I'm going to maneuver all these archers into position, and then the enemy is just going to attack us as soon as we are in those positions. Pikes, your job there is done as well, isn't it? If we can, I'd rather have you in the front line, if you can run through. And Naharim, just run yourselves down there. Javelins. If we can pull it off, it'll be fantastic. I don't think we will be able to pull it off. I'm sure they'll attack us long before we get anywhere near them, really. Although, no, look, our pikes have arrived.
Without him, if we continue like
Pikes
this,
down,
we will
defensive
smash
mode.
the enemy.
No, come out of that. Finish it. This is all that's left. Our Avari javelins are ready. All they need is a target and it's over. Oh, who's that? Ah, Captain Recarded. The last of Ravanian's pitiful defense goes down. These people who have been living their own destiny for the past half a year. How long have I sieged this town? One turn? The past quarter of a year? They've just recently overthrown their runic overlords, and then boom, Dorwinion arrives. 138 Morroquendi sentinels. No surprises there. Ah, there's that cool image of Minas Tirith again. At least I think it's Minas Tirith. I mean, it all lines up with the sun or the fire in the distance being Mordor and Mount Doom. And you can just see out here, there's a Pelennor, the Ramas Echor, just curling around the city there. Ostenavari is ours. We shall sack the settlement. We shall repair it.
Courage and honor have conquered.
And another place. Well, this one we want to just join us, really. So we'll chuck some standing stones if we can, because it will not like us for some considerable time. The army will not just rest on its laurels, though. We'll leave 200 of you behind, and we'll head off for that one next. Build me a tower on the way.
This tower will keep vigil.
Because that one is rather wealthy, because it already has a mine, which I think we bought and built anyway. Ah, oh, Thala Rangers, no way. Yes. Where's a fort? Because they're not free. Go over there.
Yes. We'll make camp
it's cool.
Here. My lord.
Right, I think
continuing tomorrow.
We're pretty much set up then. So we're making about 6,000 at the moment, which means it'll take about 3 or 4 turns for all the buildings I've queued up to actually start building. But once they all finish, the money will only increase. We are at the point where corruption doesn't get bigger the wealthier your individual cities grow. So corruption is only a counter to wide empires, not tall empires. So we can now sit as we are, knowing that corruption will be that amount, and we'll be all right. Now corruption does grow obviously a little as you grow taller, but nowhere near as badly as it grows when you grow wider. So it's just something to watch out for. Dale will almost certainly take Rubar there, but then we shall break through them. I'm tempted to build an absolutely monolithic army and march straight through and take their heartland, but I'm not sure if it will be better to build 2 lesser sort of armies, and one to come in from the east and one to come in from the south. But when we actually attack them, we will have a proper barracks event style army, hence why Santanwe, which is going to be our key recruitment location, is preparing for war. This is going to be where most of our army comes from. And it hopefully won't be too long. But that's what I mean. It's probably going to be about 20 or so turns for our nation to be ready. And 20 turns of me just ending turn on the economic cycle is not going to be enjoyable for you. So I will almost certainly play some time off screen now until either we are attacked by one of our enemies and our hand is then forced and the game, and we've got more to do, or our army is ready to take on Dale. I know some people don't really like that. It gives you a bit of a disconnect, but I do just think that's better. That we could easily probably spend 2, if not 3 or 4 more episodes before we're ready to attack, and that will just not be entertaining for you guys or for me. So I will play some time off screen. Let me know your thoughts about the current situation regarding the custom settlements. Would you rather the Northern Dunedain not be able to upgrade a Numinas and instead get East Osgiliath? Oh, a trade agreement with Gondor, very well. Or would you rather they can upgrade a Numinas? Because if the overwhelming opinion is let them upgrade a Numinas, then obviously we'll stick with as it is. But if all of you say, no, actually, hang on, I'd much rather upgrade East Osgiliath because that's where you're heading on the campaign as a whole, I suppose it very much comes down to, do you play the campaigns right through to the end? Because if you do, upgrading East Osgiliath will be a cool benefit when you get to Gondor, which will almost certainly be in Mordor's hands by that time. Or if, like me, you only really play to the point where you know your nation is so powerful no one's going to stop you, then upgrading a Numinas is better because that's where you're going to spend most of your time. In either event, you are unlikely to fight at the upgraded versions of either of these towns. So I'm not sure. Part of me wonders if maybe upgrading Tharbad should replace a Numinas and just have a Numinas rebuilt at the game start, because you're hardly ever going to fight there when it is actually upgraded. By the time you have upgraded it, there is almost little to no risk of you getting attacked at a Numinas. Whereas Tharbad, there might be. You might take Tharbad early, be able to upgrade it, and then Dunland comes at you. Or you might take Tharbad as a blocker against Dunland while you deal with Angmar, for example. I don't know. But I think Tharbad might have more chance of being attacked. But of course, at the moment, we don't have an upgraded Tharbad model. So that very much plays our hand. But what I don't want to do is for RK to create these fantastic models and for them to not be seen because no one ever fights in those places. So it is about choosing the location that's most likely to see the fruit of RK's wonderful work. And I think in that regard, Tharbad might just clinch it.
Yes.
We shall see.
This tower will
but for now,
Your
I am going to end this episode there. Oh, an actual army. King Canute. Famous king of the Britons from some time ago. 1600s, wasn't he? Or 1500s, maybe even earlier. Oh, look at the bloody independence. Just building navies for no reason and then doing nothing with them. What is your plan here, you stupid fools?
My lord.
We'll get a bit more money when he goes back. Both of you are... Oh, you look, your armour upgraded. But you are still just cheap, nothingy, crappy vineyard levies. Your total combined cost is about 100 and something gold, which we'd still rather have. So I am going to just get rid of you. Eastern Folly will hate us, but only for one turn, and then he'll be back. But anyway, for now, that'll be all. So thank you very much for watching, if indeed you have. Stay tuned at the weekend for the Haradrim faction overview.
Yes,
thank you to you all for your kind words on the last faction overview. It was well received, but... which is good, because I was a little worried that people might be fed up with them. But no, quite the reverse. It's the most popular video in a considerably long time. So thank you to you all for that. There will be one for each faction, and Harad will be next. But until we speak again, Navarna den Pedamad Melonin, and farewell.